A 1, a 2, a 1, a 2, a 2.
We don't do instrumentals unless it's Metallica's Orion, because that's a motherfucking 10.
But I only gave it an 8.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ouch. Flopping in the wind, titties and all. I thought that was funny.
You like that, yeah.
Yeah.
But when they're raunchy and clever, it's a fucking lethal combination, and this song has that in the lyrics big time.
We know what kind of gun she pulled out, and yeah, it's funny. Oh. Aha.
So that thing is fucking, rock hard
Rock
right
hard.
there.
Welcome back, everybody, to Rock Resurgence Radio. My name is Chad, the host.
And I'm your co-host, Bergy.
Hey, no, you better stick around. This is going to be a good one. I tell you what, I tell you. Aerosmith.
Yeah, we have, I don't know how many episodes we've done, 60 or 70, let's just say.
And Aerosmith, we haven't done the goddamn Aerosmith.
Yeah, but today that all changes.
Today it changes.
Yeah.
We are taking Aerosmith's 1987 album, Permanent Vacation, versus Aerosmith Pump, which came out in 90.
Yep. So Permanent Vacation came out on 8. Actually, Pump came out in 89, but
89.
late 89. So
Yeah.
Permanent Vacation came out August 25th of 1987 and went 5 times platinum. It was recorded in Little Mountain Studios, which a lot of big-time albums were. Dr. Feelgood. What's another one just off the top of my head? Slippery When Wet. Anyway.
Albums.
Permanent Vacation was too.
Permanent Vacation.
And when we get to Pump, same deal. So I'll
Yep.
say Pump. We're going to start out with Permanent Vacation.
Yep.
Like I said, 5 times platinum. Got some hits on there. Everybody knows Ragdoll, Dude Looks Like a Lady, and Angel. Everybody knows those songs. There's 12 songs on the album.
11, technically.
Yeah. So the last song is...
I didn't rate the instrumental at the end, the movie or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I did, but whatever. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. So, but we're going to go through each track, kind of give you a little idea of what we think about the track, and then we'll give it a number from 1 to 10. And then we'll add them up at the end, come up with a score, and we're going to do the same for Pump and see which album wins.
Yep. Should be in for a good one.
We are in for fun.
All right, so you want to kick it off with the first song on Permanent Vacation. Heart's Done Time is the first track.
Heart's Done Time. I was just telling you a little bit. I was like, when I looked at these tracks, I was like, oh shit, it's been a long time since I listened to these. So I didn't recognize the name of the songs except for the big ones like he just mentioned. But I found myself, as soon as it kicked in and going, I was singing right along with it. I'm going, oh yeah, I remember this. I remember this. So Heart's Been Doing Time. I just said it's a good song. It's about taking another man's girl. It's catchy. It's good. It's a decent starting song. I wouldn't say it's a fantastic starting song, but it is good enough to get me an 8.
Yeah, so I gave it a 7, and here's my notes say, it's not a bad song. It's catchy, and I will sing along. Kind of what you were just saying.
Yeah.
Just not my favorite. And I have a few favorites off this album.
I do too.
It's a very good starting tune, and 7, I'm not saying it's a bad score. It's a decent score.
Right.
And actually, I'm not going to give anything away. That's probably, though, one of my lowest scores that I give on either one of these albums other than...
I get a couple lower.
Okay.
So
just not my favorite. Magic Touch, the second track. What do you think of that one?
Second track, it's got a great groove. There's a line in there that goes, "You better get it while it's hot now, baby, because I can't let you go." And I was like, that's catchy. That's really cool. I liked it. Great groove. I was, really pleasantly surprised. This is the one I didn't, Heart's Been Doing Time. I kind of recognized that one. Magic Touch, I had no fucking idea what I was in for, but I got into it and I started singing. Great groove. I gave that one an 8.
Yeah. You said Heart's Been Doing Time a couple of times, but it's actually the Heart's Done Time.
Heart's Done Time.
Heart's Doing Time, I think, is Cinderella.
Or isn't that the way he says it in the song or something?
So I'm just going to quick peek at the lyrics. My heart's done time. Now she's mine.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I
my
get
heart's
that. I
done
get those two screwed up. I even when I wrote I had to go back and change the title of the song to "Heart's Done Time" because I wrote "Heart's Been Doing Time." So I am getting them mixed up, ain't I?
Yeah, that's okay though. It doesn't matter. The lyric you mentioned, yeah. I mean, the song is catchy as hell. Yeah, this is one of my favorites off the album, and I gave it a 9. What'd you say you gave it?
I give it an 8.
Okay.
It's a good damn song.
I gave it a 9, and my notes say great chorus. One of my favorites off the album. Excuse me.
Yeah, I have no complaints. It's definitely, there's only maybe one song on here that if I was listening to it, I'd skip, and we'll get to it later. But
Sure.
so yeah, 8 from me, 9 from you. That's pretty good. Pretty good. And we move on to Ragdoll. What do you got there?
Well, Ragdoll released as a single on my 17th birthday, May 3rd, 1988. I think I mentioned that one other episode for some dumb reason. But it made it all the way to 17 on the charts. It's catchy. I'm not going to change it if it's on, but that's true of most songs on both of these albums for me. But I only gave it an 8.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, being one of the singles, you'd think that's going to be my 9 or my 10 but it's not. I've heard it so many times, and maybe that's just it. But when I put it up against the song before, Magic Touch, I like fucking Magic Touch better. And there's 1, 2, 3 songs I think that I like better than Ragdoll. So
I gave it a 10 because it's cool, it's different, it's got a cool drum, slide guitar. Well, I put one of the best grooves ever, just super catchy. I got some little notes here that I looked up. The song was originally called Ragtime, the title inspired by a New Orleans feel to the music and by Steven Tyler's assortment of scarves, as detailed in Walk This Way, the autobiography of Aerosmith. Geffen Records guru John Colodner loved the song but hated the title and subject matter, insisting that ragtime means nothing to kids. After rejecting many suggestions provided by Tyler and Valance, he called for help, hiring songwriter Holly Knight to fly to Vancouver to work on the song. She came up with the idea to change it to Ragdoll and received songwriting cred. The lyrics "Never See You Leavin' by the Backdoor Man" are a reference to the blues song Backdoor Man. The line was a double meaning, and as the girl has so much going for her, she doesn't have to sneak around, but the singer is willing to be her backdoor man, which is the guy who sneaks in to see her. And yeah, Joe Perry played the steel guitar. I said slide, but yeah, so that's cool. But yeah, I super dig it. I think it's a great song. I gave it a 10.
yeah, don't mind. Come on up and see me. I mean,
He's got so many catchy little lyrics, man.
Yeah.
I was just, the lyrics are scrolling. I'm like, dude, that's great. Oh my God, that's awesome.
and just the way he delivers the lyrics, I guess. And he's got many different, almost like characters that he puts into a song.
He is a phenomenal singer.
Yeah, and a front man from,
Yeah.
old school.
I know the Guru, they had that, where they put a band together and they each picked a person for each role,
Yep.
God, nobody picked Steven Tyler. I was thinking that when I was listening to him, I'm like, holy shit, Steven would be a hard one not to pick for a front guy. God, he's good. But
sure.
they picked a couple of them, 2 or 3 of them picked Janie Lane, so I'm not too upset.
Yeah, right on.
So then we move on to number 4, which is Cimaraya.
Yeah, so Cimaraya, that name, it doesn't really mean anything. It's an interesting name. It sounds biblical to me, like it should be a character in the Bible.
I had to listen to the song just to know how to pronounce it.
Oh, yeah. See, all these songs, when I listen to them, like you said, I could sing every lyric to every song. Well, and some of them I had to actually look up because I didn't know, and we'll get to those later, but I didn't know if he was saying this or that, but it's so awesome that you can get online and find the lyrics for pretty much any song.
Yeah.
They're not always correct, I don't think. But anyway, Cimaraya.
I got a question on that later in one of the songs. So,
And I might have an answer because I did. There's a lyric in one of the songs that I had to look it up and see if what I think he was saying was what he was saying, and if so, what does that mean? And I got an answer for that, but it might not be the same thing we're talking about, but we'll find out.
Okay.
So it's another one that's like the first song to me. It's very catchy, and I actually, when I was listening to it again today, I listened to these albums both at least twice through. I liked it a little more than the score I'm going to give it, but I gave it a 7. It maybe could have been a little higher, and I think actually that's what it says in my notes. I could have went a little higher, but it's just okay. It's not one of my top 4 or 5 songs on the album, so
good enough. I like the way Steven Tyler's voice in the verse, like on the first line of the verse, he's singing in this tone, and then he goes up another octave, I think, roughly. On the second part, I thought that was really cool, and then the long into Cimmeriah, I was just like, oh, that sounds so good, and it's really catchy. I just love his voice. I gave that one an 8.
Yeah, I can see that. And like I said, I gave it a 7. I probably could have went up a number to an 8. And looking at the lyrics, I mean, it's kind of a nonsense song to me, but I do like the lyrics. I'm walking the line of a razor's edge, take it as far as she goes, slice of the sky on a silver wedge. What the fuck does that mean? But
he just makes shit up.
Yeah, but
it sounds good.
It's one of his character traits or whatever. But it's a good tune.
Right.
Yep, I dig it.
Well, we are on to number 5, which is "Dude Looks Like a Lady." Yeah, everybody knows this song.
Yeah, and now we're getting into the meat of it here. And this is so. You mind if I go ahead and yap about it a little bit?
Yeah, go ahead.
So this is a 9 for me. I'll just throw my score out right now. Single came out on September 22nd of 87. It was the second single, but I think it was the first one that I heard. The first single was actually Hangman Jury, it says, or I found, through my research, but it was only like a month prior to that, and I don't think it caught hold like this song did. Excuse me. Went to 14 on the Billboard Hot 100. I think most people know this story, but the song was inspired by Steven Tyler thinking Vince Neil was a blonde chick in the bar. And in Nikki Sixx's book, The Heroin Diaries, we talked about this on one of our episodes before. I think we both read that book. But Steven Tyler said this in the book. We were hailing a taxi in New York one night, and these fucks, Motley Crue, pulled up in a limo. They called us in, and every other word out of their mouths was, dude. Yo, dude. Your dude is really dude. I hadn't heard this crazy dude shit before. We had just bought a sampler, and we were listening to an Eddie Murphy album, the one where he keeps going on about Mr. T being gay. I kind of got a lick, but couldn't get the words. I had shit like cruising for the ladies, or my old ladies got rabies, bad stuff. Then I remembered my new word, dude.
Yeah.
So, the Crew guys are from L.A. Everything's dude or was dude.
Yeah, I remember watching like the Motley Crue home videos, and that was used a lot.
Yeah, and then, Aerosmith from Boston, so East Coast, totally different vibe, than the hair metal guys from L.A. So, great song.
So the thing that I had pulled up about this song was the old story of seeing him at the end of the bar, said, and then it turned around, it was Vince Neil, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, he said, cruising for the ladies, and he goes, that was a very boring title, and looked at like, how dare you? And then Steven volunteered sheepishly, I said, when I first wrote the melody, I was singing Dude Looks Like a Lady, and it was kind of a tongue twister that sounded more like scatting. But yeah, and then it goes into that's other story. It says this was Aerosmith's comeback single. Their last hit was a remake of Come Together in 1978. After years of drug addiction and poorly selling records, they emerged clean with Permanent Vacation, went on to enormous success in their second act.
And they put out, they put out the album in 85, I think it was. Fuck is the name of that one before
Done with
this?
Mirrors.
Done with Mirrors. Okay.
It was not bad. Good.
No, Let the Music Do the Talking was probably the biggest song on that album.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of their attempt at a comeback. Well, this was the fucking comeback.
This is the official comeback.
Yeah, this album was the put them back on the map. And there's a lot of sounds that fit into 1987 and the hair band guys, the hair metal sound, and I think even more so on the next album. But anyway, we're still talking about Permanent Vacation. So,
but I do got to read this lyric because, it is about getting a girl alone and then finding out it's a dude. Rough. So I got to read this lyric. Backstage, we're having the time of our lives until somebody says, forgive me if I seem out of line. Then she whipped out a gun
and tried to blow me away. Yeah,
I just love that line, and I'm just like, we know what kind of gun she pulled out, and it's funny. I gave it a 10. I know you gave it a 9.
Yep.
Let's move on.
Well, and I don't remember if I was reading something about it too. I know you said move on, but Desmond Child was one of the writers. Maybe not on that. Yeah. Oh yeah, he was on that song, and I didn't know this, but Child said this about the song. Joe Perry came up with the chorus riff, was concerned that the subject matter would offend the gay community. But Child said, I'm gay and I'm not insulted. Let's write this song.
Yep.
So,
I had that in my notes.
Didn't know that he was gay. It doesn't matter. But
no, doesn't.
No.
Anyways, we move on to number 6, a song called St. John.
Go ahead.
I super like this song. It's got a super fun bass line. I said I found myself snapping my fingers when I was listening to it. And it kicks into a really bluesy riff, and I really, really liked it. I gave that one a 9.
This is the one that starts off with, Steven Tyler counting in, right? A 1, a 2, a 1, a 2, a 2, 2, 2, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
Yep. It's got that bass line, like. It's another biblical sounding song title, but again, I think it's just a song like Kings and Queens from old Aerosmith with the lyrics along the lines of the Knights of the Round Table shit. Yeah. Steven Tyler seemed to like that kind of shit on occasion. So,
well, who doesn't like that kind of shit?
Yeah, what'd you say for it? I gave
it a 9. I just thought it was super fun, good song, good toe tapper, snap your fingers, whatever. That's what I was doing. I was like,
do you like it just a bit more than me? I gave it a 7.
7?
Yep.
Awesome. Nothing wrong with that.
Hangman Jury, cool blues riff, harmonica. This is my favorite song on the album. Wow.
This is a 10er for me. In this song, a man's wife gets mad at him because he's not making enough money, so she decides to either cheat on him or prostitute herself. His response is to kill her, which he feels that she deserves, but results in death sentence by a hangman's jury. This is based off an old blues song called Linen Track by Leadbelly. It contains some of the same verses. Is this the one? I got to look, and this might be the song I had. Can you pull up song lyrics real quick?
Yeah. You look and... Okay. Yeah, I got them up here. I was going to mention a lyric, too. On this one.
Is this where he's laying on the line or whatever?
Yeah. Don't you lie on the track. Oh, boy, don't you lie on the track.
Yeah, and it says line. L-I-N-E.
Yep.
Isn't it? Oh, boy, don't you lie on the track. Like lie down. That makes more sense to me.
Does make sense.
And I listened to it, and I'm like, it sounds to me like he's saying, oh, boy, don't you lie on the track. Oh, boy, don't you lie on the track.
Yeah,
and then in the words, it says line, L-I-N-E. Yep. Don't you line on the track.
Yeah, it makes more sense. So he's saying don't lie on the track. Like,
right.
In the old days, my girl left me. I'm going to go lay it down on the track of the train railroad tracks, and I'm going to just fucking done. I'm going to end it.
Yeah, so that's the one song I was like, I don't think this lyric sheet is right. And it was in Apple, and then I looked it up online, and it said the same thing. And I'm like, well, fuck me, I guess.
Yeah, I love the lyric. What you do with the gun that's loaded. Whoa. Shot her dead and her heart exploded.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking dig it. But it's not my favorite song on the track like Chad's. It's an 8 for me.
Oh, man.
It was their first single, fun song. I like it. It's a blues based and better than some of the glam metal inspired stuff, honestly, on the rest of the album. But like I said, I always like that lyric, what you gonna do with the gun that's loaded? Or what you doing with the, whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah, close enough.
Love it.
I know what you're saying.
That's
Cool,
number
cool.
7, Hangman Jury.
Number 8, we got Girl Keeps Coming Apart. This is my least favorite song on the album. I gave this one a 6, but I had to write down the lyric, flopping in the wind, titties and all. I thought that was funny.
You like that, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't even know that I'd skip it. I might listen to half it and then skip through it, but it's an okay song. So.
Yeah, I don't mind it, but it is probably one of my least favorites too, even though, like, I didn't give this away at the beginning, but 7 is the lowest score I gave, except for the one that you didn't even give a score to. The
instrumental.
Instrumental I can take or leave, but
yeah, it was okay.
Again, I probably won't even skip it, even though that one I'm going to give a 5, giving it away. But otherwise, 7's pretty much is my lowest score. I love the album, and this song's okay. Like you said, I won't skip it, but it's not one of my favorites.
Right. Well, then we move on to number 9, which is Angel. Big, huge ballad back in the day.
Yeah.
I think this was the prom song for Roulette in 87, I believe. I could be wrong. Chris Leonard, you can Google it or something, figure it out. You kind of know that shit for some odd reason.
That's crazy. I know the prom songs from Sherwood. 87, it was Never Say Goodbye, I'm positive. Well, maybe that was 88.
Yeah.
We had, for one was...
I know the year
Cinderella.
we picked was Black and Blue, so
Don't know what you
that
got.
would have been 88. So 89, I don't even remember. I was drunk.
But Angel, so this song came out in like 88 as a single. You know, the album came out in 87, so I knew it in 87. But I'm thinking to myself, this is kind of a weird side note, but I'm thinking to myself that, being 16 years old, I think I thought I was cooler than I was at 16 years old. I can remember going to like a PTO dance or something in Sherwood as a kid and dancing with a gal, like, okay, here comes the slow dance song. I'm going to go ask so-and-so to dance with me.
Yep.
And but I feel like I was way younger than that, like when this song came out. But obviously I wasn't. It came out in 87 or 88.
87 it came out. But yeah, probably
so I
towards
just
the
thought
end.
I was cooler than I was, because looking back, I wasn't cool then.
So I'll read a little bit from Song Facts. This is Desmond Child helped write it, and they go, Child's next composition for the band was Angel, which, unlike Dude, sounded nothing like Aerosmith. It's a relationship song with none of the bawdry humor you would expect from the band, with Tyler pleading, come and save me tonight. There's a wuss factor to it that horrified longtime fans. Tyler knew he was compromising and won't be putting the song in his highlight reel anytime soon. As John Kalodner explained in the band's biography, Walk This Way, Tyler says that I ruined his career by making him write Angel with Desmond. And then there was a huge upside to the song. It was their biggest hit in the U.S. to that point, charting at number 3 and earned lots of radio play.
Yeah, I like this ballad a lot.
Yeah.
And that's what guys were doing back then. That's what the rock bands were putting out, fucking ballads, and they were making big hits out of them.
And making money.
Yeah, and who wouldn't want to make some money?
And according to Desmond Child, Steven Tyler's Angel was Teresa Barrick, who he just recently started dating. They got married in 88 and divorced in 2006. He said, "She's my angel," Child recalled to Song Facts. When he said Angel, I looked at him and he had those big blubber lips like Mick Jagger, right?
Yeah.
Then he said Angel. It reminded me of Mick Jagger saying Angie. I thought I want him to say the word angel over and over again so I can see those big lips in the wind singing Angel.
That's funny.
That's funny shit. So
yeah, no, I really like the song.
I did too.
I don't know if you gave it a score, but I gave it a 9.
I gave it a 10.
I don't have a single 10 on this album, and maybe I should be ashamed, but
You should be.
Next
Next is a little song. The title of the album is Permanent Vacation. That is the title of this song. A great guitar riff and intro with some monkeys, which is cool. Super, super catchy. I thought this was going to be my favorite song on the album because I remember loving this song. But I gave it a 9. It's not my favorite song. I saved that for Hangman's Jury, and I like Angel a little better. I think I like this better than I should have gave it a 10 because I like it better. Dude Looks Like a Lady. So.
Yeah.
But
it's funny that you split it this way because I think it is my favorite song on the album, and I still didn't give it a 10, but I did give it a 9. And listening to it 2 more times through, I'm sure it's my favorite song on the album. And it's kind of crazy that it wasn't a single. And maybe it's one of them things like the kids say, I felt that. Like I felt that Permanent Vacation when he talks about it. Like I need myself one of those.
Yep.
On occasion. The words are, I got a sister, man. She really got a pinhead. She thinks she kinky, but she can't get straight. She say she living, but I kind of think she's brain dead. Just excess baggage on a late night freight.
Yep. And then there's a line, my nose is clean and Lordy don't need no sedation. So the song is about retiring to the tropics, being drug free, getting sober and getting away from drugs. So yeah, it's a cool song.
Yeah. It makes me feel like it's a great song for the beach.
Yeah,
it makes me feel like I'm on a vacation.
It does, and it's cool. It's a really cool song. Yeah, I give that a 9. You gave it a what? 9?
9.
Okay,
but I think it's my favorite song on the album.
Perfect. Well, we're to number 11, which is "I'm Down." It's a Beatles cover. I like it. It's got a Beach Boys vibe to it. I'm really down.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it's catchy, it's groovy, it's fun, and I give it a 9.
Yeah, and I'm a Beatles fan. I like the song. I think Aerosmith does a hell of a job covering it. Let's see what I gave it. I know it wasn't a 9. To me, it's just another one. I gave it a 7. I gave a lot of 7s on this album, and don't take it the wrong way because I really like this album. 7,
I don't think you really like it.
7's not a bad score, I don't think. And maybe I don't know. When I got to the next album, though, yeah, well, not to give anything away, but so we're not gonna. I gave the movie, the instrumental, a 5. You didn't really give it a score.
You should just throw that score out and redo your numbers because that.
Well, okay.
Because it's an instrumental, man. We don't do instrumentals unless it's Metallica's Orion. Because that's a motherfucking 10.
A 10?
10.
Anyway, okay. So, with throwing out the movie, my score is an 81% on this album.
Mine was an 88.
All right. Fair enough.
88
now,
out of 100. Now,
we move on to 89's Pump came out.
And it's got the, well, you got the shirt on. It's got the
shirt.
The one truck humping another trunk.
One
it's
truck
giving it a pump.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool visually. Anyways, Pump starts off with a song called Young Lust. I said it's upbeat, double bass drum. I got a few weeks before they started recording, Perry went to Valance's nearby home trying to come up with a lead-off track for the album, something that sounded like a dinosaur eating cars. He and Valance developed this track when which did become the album opener with lyrics added by Tyler. According to Joe Perry, this song is about retaining your youthful exuberance and passion for music into middle age. The band was well into their 40s at this time. I gave it a 7.
Okay. So Young Lust is the first song. I gave it an 8. It's frantic and frenetic, and it's a good kickoff song to the album. I like it. I like it better than a bunch of the 7s I gave on Permanent Vacation, so that's where I came up with my 8.
Yeah, I liked it because it was a little different. You don't hear double bass from Aerosmith ever. Like, I don't know another song that has that, and there's somebody out there probably says, "Oh yeah, they do it on this song." Well, I don't listen to Aerosmith all that much.
Yeah, this album came out in 1989, but fall of 89. So I probably was going to college when it came out. And it went 7 times platinum. And it's another one that was recorded at that Little Mountain Sound Studios, like Dr. Feelgood and Slippery When Wet. And I think Metallica's Black Album was recorded there.
Yeah. I have a memory of Jay Johnson with this. It was either this one or their next one, which was the one
Get
with
a Grip.
Get a Grip with
That's
the
the
cow
one with,
udder.
Yeah, that's the one that has, like, when you were talking about wussy ballads, I almost brought it up, like Amazing and Crying.
Yeah.
And what's the other one? There's like 3 of them.
I know.
Crazy.
Is that the one where he had all the Alicia Silverstone in the videos?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Which,
that was nice.
nothing wrong with that.
No, but I can't remember if it was this one or that one. And I remember distinctly being out at Chris Smith's farm. And it'd be a hotter than shit day, nice out, and we were partying out there. I don't know what the hell we were doing out there, but we were partying, I'm sure. And I remember Jade having the new Aerosmith, and I can't remember if it was this one or if it was the other one. But I'm thinking it was this one because...
Well, if you got it when it first came out, it can be pretty toasty in September still.
No, maybe it was the other one. I don't know. But when I think of Aerosmith, that memory comes up for me all the time. So, fun.
So you gave that a 7.
I gave it a 7.
I gave it an 8.
Yep. And we move on to number 2, which is F-I-N-E, Fine.
Yes.
I love the guitar at the beginning of the chugging guitar opening. I love that groove. She's got the Cracker Jack and All I Want's the Prize. I gave this one a 9. I had to read this. As stated in the artwork for Pump, F-I-N-E, Fine, is an acronym for fucked up, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. Aerosmith mentions the title in their song What It Takes. Girl, before I met you, I was F-I-N-E, fine.
Yep.
Steven Tyler and Joe Perry wrote the song. Desmond Child, who co-wrote the Aerosmith hits Angel and Dude Looks Like a Lady, wrote the bridge, which was originally intended for another song. But yeah, I like this song. And honestly, that I looked at the song title and I went, I don't remember this song at all. And then it got into it and I was like, oh yeah, I like it very much.
Yeah.
So I gave that one a 9.
Well, you read a lot of my notes, but
I'm
going to say this about this song.
Okay.
And no apologies, nothing. This is by far my favorite song on either album.
Okay.
I gave it a
10?
fucking 10.
10?
Yeah, big time 10. And like he said, the liner notes talk about the fucked up, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. And Tyler described that as being his constant state. The acronym was popularized by the Aerosmith song for clinical use. Raunchy lyrics, and I love it. I don't usually like raunchy lyrics. I know that sounds weird because I'm not afraid to throw out an F word and whatever, but like Steel Panther think, they're raunchy just kind of for the sake of being raunchy.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
But when they're raunchy and clever, it's a fucking lethal combination, and this song has that in the lyrics big time.
Yeah.
I mean, just from the beginning, hot wax dripping honey, what do you say? I got a brand new record that I gotta play. She says, not now, boy, but I did anyway, because I'm ready. So ready. And, when he's talking about being ready, he's ready for some fucking action.
Action.
When we were talking earlier about lyrics, I thought this was a lyric that was going to come up. So there's a lyric in there that goes, it's right after that. Lip smacking, patty whacking, walking the street. I got a rag top Chevy, now I'm back on my feet. I get an emo woody when I sit in the seat because I'm ready, so ready.
Yeah. What's an emo?
Emo woody is EMHO. I had to look this up and I had to search a long time about it. But EMHO stands for early morning hard on.
Oh. Aha.
So that thing is fucking, rock hard right there. But yeah, and it just there's so much of it. I love the lyrics.
He writes really clever lyrics. I like the way he writes his shit. It's fun.
Yeah, like you said, you mentioned that she's got the Cracker Jack. Now all I want's the prize, honey. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, and at the end, I got to mention some of the stuff about, my old lady thinks you're all right. Your daddy says I'm all right. And Tipper thinks I'm all right. So Tipper, he's talking about Tipper Gore. And this album came out right around that time where they were doing the PMRC. Actually, it was a little maybe earlier, like in between these two albums.
Yeah.
But it'll, throw one out to her with this, dirty lyrics in this song, which it's great though.
It's a good song. Very good song. 9 or 10.
I could keep talking about the lyrics because they're fucking great. But
let's move on.
We best.
The next song, everybody knows, it's Love in an Elevator, and the preface to it is Going Down.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Tyler, going down.
Yeah. Third floor, ladies' lingerie. Ooh, Mr. Tyler.
Yeah, I love his little laugh. That's cool shit, man. So Steven Tyler wrote the song with Aerosmith guitarist Joe Perry. Musically, it was a fusion of different ideas that came up at a jam session. Buddy Miles was an influence. Tyler came up with the lyrics, but was concerned about the title was too juvenile. Perry pointed out that they already had a song called Dude Looks Like a Lady, which worked out very well for them, so they went with Love in an Elevator. All 5 members of the Aerosmiths sing the last chorus in a cappella in live performances, and they sing into one mic. In Disney World, Orlando, Florida, the song is played in some cars on the Rock and Roll roller coaster with the lyrics altered to Love in a Roller Coaster. Riders join a virtual Aerosmith on a trip to the Forum. So
yeah, I rode that roller coaster.
Did you?
It was fucking great. Yeah.
Cool.
And I think I read that same thing on somewhere about that, where they have different cars for the coaster, and in different cars they play different songs, and the car behind you doesn't hear maybe the same song as the car in front of you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I think it was that Fine Fine was one of the songs that was played on. So all the cars had different license plates. So if you rode it a few times, you'd know which license plate to look for. And I think Fine was in a car, and they played, I think, 2 or 3 songs before the ride was over, at least parts of 2 or 3 songs. And the license plate on that car was Buhbye, Buhbye. And if you got in that car, you heard, and actually were you talking about, they changed the lyrics to the song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love in an Elevator to Love in a Roller Coaster.
Yep. So that one and Fine, I think were on that car that I read.
Cool.
I don't know. Weird. But anyway.
Cool. But anyways, everybody knows this song. Good song. I gave it a 9.
Yeah. And I gave it a 9 as well. Like we were talking about the opening. Second floor, hardware, children's wear. Ladies' lingerie. Oh, good morning, Mr. Tyler.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then his little laugh. Ooh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love it.
And it's just, it's good. I mean, we could talk about it. We've talked about it probably too much, but I love the tune.
Yep.
It's just not quite a 10 because I love Fine just so much. I reserved a 10 for that one.
Sounds good. Well, we move on to number 4, which is Monkey on My Back. I wrote decent song. This was the first song Tyler and Perry wrote for the Pump album. They composed it in November of '88, about 2 months after the tour ended. A sign that they were rehabbed for good. Guns N' Roses were their opening act, but they still stayed clean. They recorded the song live in the studio with Tyler adding his vocals later. Like I said, it's a decent song. I gave it a 7.
Yeah. I gave it, let's see, what did I give it? I like it a little better than you. I gave it an 8. The last verse, I love this verse. Your crystal ball is where you chase the dragon. She said, now bring me home his head inside a sack. But now you find your crystal balls are dragging. Gotta get that monkey off your back. Sometimes my crystal balls are dragging.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I hear you.
8 for that one.
8. I got a 7. Move on to number 5.
Mm-hmm.
What's with the slashes in all these songs? Like, okay, there's Going Down / Love in an Elevator.
Well, so Going Down is the
I know
the intro kind of to it.
Well, but what are they, like now? This one, Water Song / Janie's Got a Gun.
Yeah, there's that little intro at the beginning.
I know, and then there's another one, Dulcimer Stomp. Yeah, so I was just like, what's going on? They should have called this album Slash.
Yeah. I think on my version of the album, it doesn't have those. It doesn't have the different names for the intro.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's just a
it was just
Apple Music
Apple Music
thing or a Wikipedia thing or whatever it is that we got our song titles from to just copy and paste into our notes or whatever.
Anyways, Water Song, Janie's Got a Gun. This is such a fucking powerful song when you know what the topic is. It's a sad topic. It's about incest, and it's crazy, and I didn't think about this shit when I was listening to it back in the days, but now I'm sitting down and I'm listening to it and I'm reading the lyrics and I'm going, oh boy. It just had a whole new meaning to me, and it was so powerful today when I was listening that I was just like, oh my God. Anyways, do you mind if I read some of this?
No, you go ahead.
Okay. Steven Tyler the song is about a girl who shoots her father because he's sexually abusing her. Steven Tyler, who wrote the lyric, explained the Walk This Way autobiography. That song is about a girl getting raped and pillaged by her father. It's about incest, something that happens to a lot of kids and don't even find out until about after they find themselves trying to work through some major motherfucking neurosis. And he goes, started writing the song in his basement, when he came up with the line, Janie's Got a Gun. He then sat on it for months, waiting for an oracle door to open. Tyler told Rolling Stone, it only became a song about child abuse after I looked over a Time magazine and saw the article on 48 Hours, minute by minute, of the handgun deaths in the United States. He continued, then I got off on the child abuse angle. I heard this woman speaking about how many times children are attacked by their mothers and fathers. It was fucking scary. I felt, man, I got to sing about this. That was it. That was the toe in the door. The line, he jacked a little bitty baby, was written as he raped a little bitty baby, but Steven Tyler changed the request at the request of John Kalodner. So, and then there's something Steven Tyler admitted in Rolling Stone that he was attracted to his daughter Liv, said Tyler. How can a father not be attracted to his daughter, especially when she's a cross between the girl he married and himself? He continued, all a man has to do is be totally honest with himself, and he can see it. However, the real man knows it's just a place to never go. Instead, he celebrates it by telling his daughter how beautiful she is and how precious a child of God she is. There's ways to love without making love to it. I wrote Janie's Got a Gun about fathers who don't know the difference.
Wow.
Yeah, I read that and I was like, holy shit. Kind of freaked me out a little bit when I read.
When you read it, when he said that he was kind of attracted to his daughter, Liv. I mean, she is attractive.
Oh, yeah, she's super attractive.
But then the way he kept going, I'm like, okay, I see where he's going here.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to read that, because he said that, and then he kind of, he explains further what he means, of course.
Yeah, it is a powerful tune.
It is a very powerful tune.
Did you give it a score already?
I gave it a 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just hit me. If I were to, it was always a good song to me, even back in the day, before I kind of, I just sang along with the lyrics, didn't think too much about it. But today just kind of made it from probably an 8, 9 to a 10 for me, just listening to it.
I always knew what it was about, and it's a great tune. I know when I saw it on the, on the cassette, and I'm looking at the titles of the songs, and I'm like, Janie, and I was thinking, I always had Janie Lane in my head more, and then I always remembered the song Jamie's Crying from Van Halen.
Yeah.
And then you listen to it, and it's neither of those things, of course. But yeah, I gave it a 9. I'm kind of fucking stingy today, I guess, or whatever. But I like it a lot. I only gave 110, and it's my favorite song on either of the albums. And But I gave a lot of 9s on this album. That's one of them.
Yeah, I get it. I give my 10s away. There. I'm not going to hold on to
You're
them.
whoring them out.
I'm whoring them out. Yep. So, good song. We'll move on to Dulcimer Stomp / The Other Side. So, basically, The Other Side.
Yeah, you flip over the cassette and it's The Other Side.
How crazy is that?
Yeah, and this is the first song on The Other Side.
Crazy how that works. It's got an instrumental beginning. Got up to number 22 on the Hot 100. I didn't write a whole bunch of notes. It's a good song. I gave it a 9 on that one.
Yeah, this is another 9 for me. I like it a lot.
Take me to the other side.
I read something about they got sued on this song, and I'm trying to find it here real quick. So anyway, apparently on The Other Side, which I love, and I gave it a 9. They got some litigation on it with a couple of the guys from the Four Tops, or a few of the guys from the Four Tops. It's a Standing in the Shadows of Love is a 1966 hit single recorded by the Four Tops, and apparently and I'd have to listen to that song because I'm not super familiar with it. You know, when I hear Standing in the Shadows of Love, I think of the Britney Fox song, like whatever. But so the songwriting team of Holland, Dozier, and Holland were eventually given songwriting credit on the song after threatening to file suit over similarities between that song and Standing in the Shadows of Love. Anyway, good tune. Yeah, I gave it a 9.
9er.
I like it a lot.
Okay. We move on to number 7, which is My Girl, and it's not My Girl.
No, it's the original Tyler Perry.
Yep, I put Just Okay, and I gave it a 6.
Yeah, this is probably one of my Just Okay songs too, but I gave it, I think, an 8. Let me look. Yep, I gave it an 8.
Wow. You're being pretty liberal. Just kidding.
Yeah, no, I think I'm kind of a dick about giving out 10s, but...
Yeah, I just, it didn't do much for me. This one, the next song, they didn't do much for me.
Yeah, some of the lyrics I like, My girl, she's bareback rider. And my girl, she's Lady Godiva. She's a full-time lover, no mon ami. Sweeter than honey from a honeybee. All rubs off on little old me, oh my.
Yeah, I mean, it's catchy.
Yeah.
But I don't know, there was just something about it. I wasn't...
My girl, she smokes barbed wire. My girl can't get no higher. Made it with a lady with a one-track mind. Diamonds in the rough, they're so hard to find. Day after day, it's the same old grind. Grind and grind and grind.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not F-I-N-E fine. It's not Love in an Elevator. It's not Janie's Got a Gun. Not even close.
Yep. So.
But.
6er.
6er and an 8er.
And then we go to number 8, which is Don't Get Mad. Get Even. This has a didgeridoo at the beginning.
Didgeridoo. That's a great name for a
Yep,
instrument.
It has that thing on the beginning, which is kind of cool, but I just put in the song's not that great. I give that one a 6 too.
Wow. Don't Get Mad, Get Even. I like as good as My Girl. I gave it an 8. Sorry.
No, that's all right.
It's the next one, which we can move right to if you want.
The Hoodoo Voodoo Medicine Man?
Yeah, that's my 7.
That's your 7. I like this one a little more. I said cool guitar and bass. I like the groove. Masturbating with a noose.
Now someone's kicking out the chair. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was like, I don't know. I just saw that line and I was like, yeah. So anyways, I like the song. I thought it was pretty damn good. So I give that one an 8.
Yeah. It's a 7 for me.
7?
Yep.
Okay. Shall we move on to number 10?
Yeah. So this is the last one.
Last song. And it's called What It Takes. This is a ballad. Really good song.
Fuck yeah.
A
different kind of ballad too. It's almost like the gal from Angel from Permanent Vacation broke his fucking heart, and then he wrote this song on the next album.
So I just copied and pasted some lyrics in here. Tell me what it takes to let you go. Tell me how the pain's supposed to go. Tell me how it is that you can't sleep in the night without thinking you lost everything that was good in your life to the toss of the... And then he hits this fucking astronomical...
Stupid high note for the dice. Yeah.
Tell me what it takes to let you go. I just think that is a great chorus. I just love that. I love that the way he... in the night... without thinking you... I like the way he does that. I'm like, this is fucking
the
perfect.
The way he alliterates that or whatever. Yeah.
Enunciates or whatever you call it. How he just...
I love the start of it, the chorus right at the beginning, or the verse, I guess, right at the beginning.
There's my old good friend.
Yeah, another diamond ring.
Yeah. It's such a catchy, super song.
All those late night promises, I guess they don't mean a thing.
Yeah. This is 10 for me, easy.
It's a 9. That's for me.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I only gave out 110 and I ain't ashamed of it. It's okay.
Yeah, wow. I really like that song.
And I fucking like Aerosmith more than I'm maybe letting on. I don't know. These two albums, I mean, I got into Aerosmith from Permanent Vacation. I did. I'm not going to lie and say, well, I was a huge Aerosmith fan when I was 10. I wasn't, but man, this is another one of those bands that when I got into in the mid 80s, I went back and got all their shit. And that Aerosmith Greatest Hits, with the red cover.
Yep, I know exactly. That's the one I was just going to mention. That. I mean, it's fucking fantastic.
But I have them all, like from the first one.
I never did that. I did too. Also, start on Permanent Vacation. Then I went back and I picked up some things here and there, but I didn't get all their stuff. At one point, they did buy Pandora's Box.
Yep, I had that too.
On cassette.
That had just about everything.
I don't know where that's at. I think Sherry and Grayson still have that, but it's okay.
That came out shortly, probably in between this and the next album, actually, Pump, or maybe right after Get a Grip.
Yeah, they were kind of on a hot streak, and they were releasing whatever they can.
And that had a lot of, there was a song, Pandora's Box, on Get Your Wings, but that was like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like unreleased stuff and rare stuff. And
yeah. I mean, they had songs from the 60s on that thing.
I think that was I had that before I went back and bought some of the older albums, and I think that's where I first heard the song Big 10-inch record that was on Toys in the Attic in 1975.
Yeah.
And that's not an original Aerosmith song, right? That's a remake of a really old song, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, so I went back and I got into their whole catalog, and I really like Aerosmith songs.
I do too. I mean, I just think, and then I got a chance to finally see them live here at the fair. I don't know what year it was, and they had to be in their 60s. And they put on a hell of a show, and it's probably still, it's in my top 5 shows of all time.
Yeah, they were really good, the whole bunch of them, and Steven Tyler, like you said. I was thinking about this exact same thing, and I didn't make a note about it, but I went to that same show, and I'm thinking, he was probably in his late 60s, and he's flying around, and he's got the scarves on his fucking, mic stand, and just the twirling it and flipping it around, and just,
his voice was fucking
spot
amazing.
On for how he sings and on an album. Yeah,
I honestly, I may or may not still have some really good picks from that, and maybe you could throw a few up if I can find them. I'll send them to you.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, we're down to that part.
Well, we didn't. So we totaled up our scores on this album.
Yep, I totaled up mine.
And I totaled up mine.
I got an 81 on this one.
And I got an 85.
And then on Permanent Vacation, I had an 88. So Permanent Vacation is the winner for me. I just like it a little better. There was a few more songs on it that were just catchy enough for me. And there was, there was 2 songs in a row on this one, that My Girl and that Don't Get Mad, Get Even. I gave them both 6s. That's what killed this one for me. But
yeah, and I gave it an 85 out of 100, and I had 81 on the previous. So the winner for me is Pump.
Split decision.
Yes, ding, 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 split decision. We don't have a definitive winner here, but
we may have to do another Aerosmith mashup to see if we can come up
tiebreaker
with
or something.
Tiebreaker or something. Toys in the Attic, or maybe that greatest hits. We'll rank the songs and
yeah.
yeah.
I really like both. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it or whatever and say that. But it was kind of. I was surprised. And it's 85 to 81, so it's not like a blowout. But
yeah, mine was 88 to 81, so it's not a huge blowout. But if like I said, if Pump didn't have those two songs where I gave them 6s, I think it would have been a lot closer.
Yeah, and I had a lot of 8s on Pump, whereas I had a lot of 7s on Permanent Vacation. Did I ever tell you this story about? So I saw them at the fair too, but I had tickets to go see them in Grand Forks with my daughter, Brianna, and it would have been her first rock concert. I think.
No kidding.
Yeah, she was born in 96, and I think she was about 10 or maybe 12 at the most. So, and I was going to take her. I don't know why or how we got it started talking about it, but so it would have been 06, 07, 08.
Mm-hmm.
Probably you can Google this and find out. Maybe I will when I edit it. But they canceled because he had throat surgery.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, and that's what caused him to retire here just recently.
Yeah.
But we never made it. Never got to see him. And then I didn't take my daughter to the fair, but at that point she was old enough where she went on her own. So I think she went to that concert, finally got to see him.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, they were fan-freaking-tastic. Anyways, if you don't own either of those albums, go get them.
Yeah,
do yourself a favor. They're really good. I can't say enough about Aerosmith because, and I can't believe it took us this long to get to an Aerosmith album.
Yeah, we got a lot of hair metal that we talk about.
And these guys I wouldn't consider hair metal necessarily. They're kind of more 70s rock.
Well, they fall in that category of all the other things that we talk about. They're, like you said, they're a rock band, classic rock. But we talk about, we did a whole AC/DC episode. They're not hair metal. We talk about Metallica. They're not hair metal.
Yeah, I guess our show doesn't have hair metal in the title, so we don't have to do that.
Yeah, it's not strictly hair metal. And matter of fact, when we do watch our next episode, episode's going to be 1985. I know we talk about some pop stuff, and Ryan Adams comes up, and, we talk about...
what do you do? I mean, if it's good, it's good.
Yep.
We talk about good shit.
That's what we do. And so if you think that we're talking about good shit, like, subscribe, share our stuff. We appreciate it.
Yeah, do that. Got anything else?
I don't.
Okay. That's it for this week's Rock Resurgence Radio. Keep the volume cranked, the fist pumping, and the spirit of rock and roll alive. We'll be back next week with more Sonic Mayhem. Until then, stay loud, stay proud, and keep fucking rocking.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We really hope you enjoyed our content. If you did, please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. We'd greatly appreciate it. Links to everything we discussed will be included in episode notes. Feel free to check those out as well. Until next time, stay golden, Pony Boy, and rock on.